Like most Moscow visitors, I started my journey from the Red Square. Matryoshkas, hats with earflaps. Summer in Moscow is very hot and the city looks empty, hopefully only because of summer holiday. In the evening I went to Izmailova Park, a popular rest place for residents. Some people were sunbathing next to Height Voltage line, some were drinking beer at the children's playground, and some were dancing. What Russians can do really well is have fun and enjoy themselves. There are 10 women for every 9 men in Russia, and it is noticeable straight away. With age, this difference is getting even bigger. Russian gentlemen are very spoiled. The Moscow Underground doesn't have any signs or maps in any foreign language. It is labyrinth for Moscow guests. The park reminds me about the Soviet friendship of nations. But communism in Russia has been replaced by wild capitalism. Only monuments remain about the past. The friendship of nations is still alive, but changed its outward form. Ex-compatriots become unwelcome immigrants. Next Siberia was waiting for me, Novosibirsk, Barnaul and Mountain Altai. The tourist season in Siberia is very short. This is the reason for high prices. People are making money even from the air. Car parking is 100 rubles. Life in Siberia is extreme. Challenging climate, high prices, huge destinations between places. But Russians really like different kinds of extreme. By the way, about the roads. In opposite from stereotypes, they are perfect here, but time to time closed by the local residents. They feel free to do as they please here and with impunity. There is freedom in Russia. It is different from the European understanding of freedom. It is wild freedom, unchecked freedom of spaces. It's only in Russia. But why people don't like to live on these endless spaces? This is Tolstaya Dubrova, a Siberian village. Most of the world population can't even dream about something like this place. Fresh air, clean water, natural goods grown without any chemicals, and a wonderful hospitality of the local people. Guest in a house, bottle of vodka on the table. It's not about everyday drinking. It's tradition and hospitality.
Полную половинку?
Ну, как тебе сказать?
Хватит.
Чумазик наш маленький.
It's not an easy life. People work hard, but it's their home and they like it this way. The next 4 days I spent in a train from Novosibirsk to Vladivostok. The most important thing in a train is to have the right travel companions. Landscapes, time zones, climate were changing. The passengers at the station were rushing to get some refreshments. There is a far east of Russia with a highly efficient Chinese agriculture and without roads. Coming to Vladivostok, the traffic is terrible. Local residents told me that it is construction for the coming summit in 2012. But I believe that the road should be constructed for the local residents and not all in one time. Then I boarded a private boat and went to inhabited island of Rikon, to a children's scout camp. The camp doesn't have any connection with civilization. Even a private boat doesn't go there directly. And to go to the island in this place, scouts pick me up by raft. The Amur Bay from one side and the Pacific from other side, washing the island of Rikon. An unbelievable amount of rubbish is washed in by water to the coast of the island. I haven't been seen such a happy children when they get a piece of bread anywhere else. The island probably is magic. Potatoes cooked in a fireplace on the beach of the ocean. Can anything be better? And for sure, evening songs next to fireplace. It's romantic.
Мы знаем точно, растает лед, тише полночно, и Волга запоет.
Vladivostok met me shrouded in a fog and with terrible traffic. Nobody cares about people confronting Russia. It was lots of Chinese tourists in the city center. They feel like at home here. And the workers mostly were ex-compatriots from the Middle area. New form of people friendship in action.
А я живу в России, самой крайней точки бытия. А я живу в России, это просто родина моя.